Hi guys, welcome to episode 3, a special episode for Halloween. I'm joined with co-host Banner,
Alright.
or Alex, and
Yeah.
our special guest, Corey, our treasurer.
All right.
Corey, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Corey. I'm the current treasurer of the Esports Society, and I'm a second-year pharmacy student. And I've been part of the society for about a year now.
Great. And Banner, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm computer science student, currently in third year. I usually play Rocket League on the server. That's all I play, really.
As far as I know, I haven't been introduced because of the episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
go for it.
All right. So I'm Connor, the OR6 officer. I do BIT, which is business and IT. My second year. So basically, today we're going to be discussing sort of the theme of Halloween, but sort of horror games as well. Is that right?
Yeah.
Where would we like to start?
I don't know, just like what we've got planned for Halloween. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm dressed up at the minute. I see you aren't wearing anything.
I'm wearing my jersey and dressed up and everything.
Oh, sorry. These are gamers then? Is that,
Yeah,
is that what you are?
that's what we've had us.
For those that don't know, I'm Joe Exotic, so that's what I'm going for.
Win on the hat or
who's
everything.
Yeah, I need the hat. Have you got any plans for Halloween?
Yeah, so one of our friends, Russell, in the server, he's gonna be going as Wreck-It Ralph. So I took it upon myself to go as Fix It Felix. So gonna go to little sidekick Joe. So I've got all my I haven't got all of my costume, but like most of it. So getting close to the date now. So what about you, Connor? Have you got any costumes or anything planned?
I haven't got anything yet. I think me and my girlfriend we're going to do like a couples one. So we're thinking like Woody and Jesse, something along them lines. Or like last year, I went as Joe Allen from the Inbetween, or not the Inbetweeners, the the Hangover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I went as him with do you remember the little baby he had?
Oh,
So
Oh,
had
yeah.
the whole get up, yeah, the baby and all. So that's
So-
what I went as.
Yeah, I think last year, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, but I went as Shaun from Shaun of the Dead.
Oh,
It's like,
yes.
yeah. I think that's Sean Pegg, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
no, that's a really good movie. Like, and it's a bit niche though. I don't think many people knew the actual outfit until I explained it to them. But it was a pretty simple one, like just like a white shirt and some blood and a cricket bat. I had to go and buy a cricket bat.
I've never actually seen it.
No, you said
You ever watched it?
No, I haven't saw Shaun of the Dead. Like, I'm huge into Halloween, but I've never watched Shaun of the Dead, and there are so many good films I haven't saw, especially the parody films. Like I watched
Yeah.
Scary Movie for the first time like a week or two ago.
Yeah,
Serious?
I haven't actually
Yeah.
seen Scary Movie, like, but no, yeah.
Oh, you
Wanna-
should- I watched the comedy horror. That's me.
Yeah, but like you can definitely
They're all
watch it.
great movies.
Definitely watch
Yeah.
it on one of your Halloween movie nights, Spinner. Maybe
Yeah,
I watched
next
the
couple of
whole series of movies.
the whole
So
series.
Hot Fuzz and stuff, isn't it? Yeah,
Hot Fuzz, and then it's the end of the world, is it? Or
Yeah,
World's End?
yeah, I think so. That's like where you have to go to like the pub at the end, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember it, yeah. But
Like all of those movies are all linked through Cornados, so they will always eat a Cornado ice cream during the movies.
yeah.
So they're called the Cornado trilogy.
Oh dear.
never heard of it.
Little bit of lore for you.
Yeah, no, just wait for the lore. Just wait.
Yeah, the lore.
Wait.
Speaking of some lore, we can probably start talking about the horror games now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Binner, what's on the itinerary for horror games then?
So we're gonna do a bit of a discussion on horror games that we would recommend, horror games we've played or seen, and which like y'all should play coming up. So start off, I've chose this one to talk about just because I saw it. I saw the reviews online. Also got recommended to me by a couple of people, called Darkwood. It's available on all consoles. It's actually about 7 years old or so, but it looks really good. It's a it's a top-down survival game with tons of different mechanics in it. Like there's stealth mechanics, there's trading, there's crafting, NPC communication. Like there's tons of stuff in it. But nobody that I've talked to has like heard of it. So I thought it best just to bring that up. Maybe some of you will like that game.
It's like one of the ones that's gone on like under the radar, I guess.
Yeah, it really has. And the other thing is, it's on PC and consoles as well, which for a horror game doesn't really happen that much.
Yeah, I think quite a lot of the good horror games I think go under the radar and don't get as many people playing them. I think some games that are like multiplayer ones become mainstream, and then people don't pay attention to the other ones. Like there was one I saw the other day. It was called Monstrum, where it's a horror game where basically every single time you play it, it's different. So it's basically like a randomized experience every single time you play, and basically you're on a cargo ship with these different monsters, and you have to try and escape. And like I've watched the trailer, I haven't actually played it, but oh my god, like I don't think I can handle it. It's crazy, like. But no, I think the smaller ones are always good shouts. Like, I mean, I'm not too sure about any other ones I can think of off the top of my head. Maybe
like I can't think of any either. But that's maybe Oxenfree, which is another one I've played. But it was less horror, more thriller. And it was completely story mode. I played that on the Switch. It had a good story to it, but other than a story, it didn't have much, in terms of gameplay or anything like that. So it was a pretty good story. I'd say it's worth it. But just don't be expecting too much if you're wanting to, play skill-based games or something like that.
Right. So I think another game I want to especially talk about. I mean, it'll be one of the bigger ones. Obviously, you could talk about Dead by Daylight, I think, for a little bit. I know you've played it, Boehner, but have you played it, Connor, by any chance? Ever?
I haven't, no.
No, so I think you've probably heard of it.
I guess this is a good time to learn.
Yeah, no. So Dead by Daylight is a 1v4 horror survival game, basically, where you can play as either the survivor or the killer. All the killers are based off of like well-known movie/video game villains, I guess you could say. So like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, and like a lot of the other characters are based off of films, like Pinhead from Hellraiser, I think is one. Pyramid Head from Silent Hill, if you've heard of that. But no, you can pick a killer, and then there's the survivors, and their goal is to basically just to repair 5 generators around the map whilst trying to avoid the killer in the meantime. And once you repair those 5 generators, you can power up an exit gate to leave the map, and that's how you escape. But meanwhile, the killer's obviously going after you and trying to stop you from doing that. And basically, every time he hits you, he injures you. And if he hits you twice, he downs you and puts you on a hook. And you can only be put on the hook twice before you die the third time. So it's a really good game. You can play with your friends. And one very positive side of it is that it's cross-platform. So you get to play with... So like, for example, we were playing with McGibbs, who was on PS4, PS5, while we were all on PC. So, I mean, that's a positive side of it. Like, but I mean, it's a pretty mainstream horror game, I'd say. Maybe not as scary as some of the games we'll talk about, like, soon to come up. Yeah. But it's definitely a good one that I recommend playing. If you haven't played it, maybe you give it a go yourself, Connor.
Yeah. The other good thing about it is, especially because this is esports, there is a ranked mode in it.
Mm-hmm.
You can queue up for ranked Dead by Daylight. So if you're wanting to grind some horror games, you can give that a try instead.
One of very few, I'd say, games you can probably grind in terms of horror.
Yeah, definitely. Unless you wanted to grind some FNAF, which is a smooth segue into our next and best game. So for those who don't know, and I don't know how, FNAF is Five Nights at Freddy's. There are, I guess, 9 FNAF games so far, and several books, and maybe even a movie at this point. Coloring books, teddy bears, it's a lot of stuff. The original premise was that you work as a security guard for a pizzeria, and if you've heard of Chuck E. Cheese, this pizzeria is something similar, where they have animatronic animals, to dance and sing for the people at the pizzeria. So your role as a security guard is to make sure at night these animatronics don't try and stuff you into an animatronic suit, which obviously kills you. So that's the basic gameplay. You stop them from doing that by shining a torch on them or closing doors. And each animatronic has, different mechanics to how they find you. But the whole reason everybody loves FNAF so much is the story behind it. So I could talk about the FNAF story for hours, and I probably would if you give me the chance. But very basic lore is kid goes to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria and gets their frontal lobe chomped by Fazbear Freddy, who's the bear animatronic. And it's basically the whole story from that. That's pretty much the basics of lore, but it is an amazing game, especially for the story. And I would recommend, if you binge watch a lot of game theory on it, the YouTube channel, it is really good to watch quite a lot of videos on the theory in a row. Sorry, I love FNAF.
God, I could go on about it for quite a while, as well. But I mean, it's sort of one of the ones you have to try out, see if you like it. Watch some lore videos, because I mean, there was so much. For a while, it was quite a guessing game in terms of the lore, where everyone was trying to figure it out. And as each game released and as each book released and all this sort of stuff, everyone was piecing together the puzzle. So people would see on the outside. I don't know about you, Connor. People see Five Nights at Freddy's as a little bit cringe in a way, in terms of the fan base. I think sometimes, but when you go behind when you go behind it, it's like that. The lore is really interesting, I feel. But yeah, it's a classic in terms of horror nowadays. Maybe modern horror, you could say.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I think in terms of horror, or at least Halloween themed for me, would probably be Siege's yearly event for Halloween. And this year it's a game mode. Basically, it's like, how would you describe it? Chasers versus runners, sort of, where the chasers have hammers, swords, and they chase you around, and the runners have traps. So certain operators, like Capcan, would be able to place his traps on doorways, then run away, and then basically the end goal is to either survive the round or to be caught. Played a fair amount, different little custom games and stuff like that with the 6 of them. But it seems really, really good. I don't know how many of you have played it yet, but
yeah, I've played it. It's good to take a break sometimes from the actual game modes to play the seasonal ones, I feel like. So although I think there was a bug for a while there where you could vault on top of part of the map, and literally if you just put Melusi's trap right on where you were, it's impossible to get up to you. So I think they want to fix that one after a lot of complaints. But no, it's good fun. And we tend to play it in our wee Siege group. So that's definitely a good one. I think in terms of Rocket League's Halloween event, I'm sure we could ramble on about how disappointing it usually is. This year it's Gotham City Rumble, where they've changed a couple of the animations in normal Rumble and made it a Batman themed reskin of a map, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
it's just basically a reskin with no differences to Rumble whatsoever. But Rocket League has a bit of a history for having disappointed Halloween limited time mode, so I'm not mad. I'm just a bit disappointed.
Not angry, just disappointed.
Yeah.
No, but I think if we want to move on to another game, we can do that. I think one more that I think I could bring up maybe would be Outlast. I don't think have you guys played Outlast before, or even seen videos of it maybe. But it's been a very long time since I played Outlast. But I can maybe talk a wee bit about the second one. basically, Outlast 2 is obviously a sequel, the first game. But in this one, you're part of like a film crew, I think. So you're going out with your partner into like the woods to do a documentary about a bunch of heretics living in the forest, I think it is. And I think your plane, like your helicopter crash lands, and you're basically trying to escape and find your partner. I'm not going to spoil anything or anything, but you're basically going through the forest with your night vision camera, and there's just a bunch of heretics around you. You see their eyes like glowing through the trees, and it's really really creepy. Like I'm not a big fan of like the really scary horror games, and I can't say I completed that one. Like, but no, it's definitely a good one if you're looking for a bit of a scare. Like it's very creepy, and then there's a lot of story and lore behind it. Like, but haven't explored it too much myself, other than playing a bit of the second game and a bit of the first game. But I think it's more based on like first person interactive horror. But that's about it for that. I think definitely would recommend it though if you haven't played it. Maybe buy the two of them, play them one after the other.
Yeah.
All in one night.
Just play every single horror game on Halloween night. Just complete all of them one sitting.
Yeah, this is a challenge we're setting right now. we're listing off all the games that you have to play.
QUB Esports stream. We'll just do a 24-hour horror game stream on
You'll
Halloween.
regret saying that.
People are going to be pushing for it now.
Yeah, I would do it for FNAF. I would do it for FNAF.
Oh dear. I don't think my heart. Yeah, we had horror game charity stream. That could be an idea. Like, I mean, something along those lines.
Mm.
But
maybe do save that for a different event.
we Christmas charity stream with some Christmas games if there's any.
Yeah.
Don't know if there are any.
20 stream. Just pass it off to one or the other.
Yeah. 1 hour per officer. But no, what about Left 4 Dead, guys? Have you played any Left 4 Dead before?
I played Left 4 Dead 2, and that's going back to when I was like when did Left 4 Dead 2 be out? When I was like first year, second year of high school. This is quite a while ago.
Oh no, way before that.
Before that? Well, that's probably when I played.
Yeah, way before that.
Yeah, like 10, 15 years maybe. Maybe longer. Honestly, don't have the stats in front of me. Like, can't check
Was
it.
there a third one? Was there? I don't think there was a third one.
Just instantly. Yeah, but I haven't personally got much experience with it. Like, I mean, if you guys think it's like a good game to recommend, maybe.
I would only play it now for just nostalgia factor. To be honest.
Yeah.
That
wasn't really much of a horror game. It was. I don't know how you describe it. Thriller. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. But if you're looking at a wee bit of nostalgia and you've played it before, I'd say it'll be a good one to go back to since it's been quite a while since it was released.
Yeah. Don't walk towards crying. You hear crying, just walk away.
Oh dear.
Did they not release the creators released a new game, didn't they? This horror game?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
It might have done. Like, I mean, I'm
sure Mark will put it somewhere for us.
Maybe up on the screen.
Yeah.
But,
it's definitely got a 4 in it.
But there's one big game. I know Corey, you definitely played it a couple times, and they had a huge update. Just a day or two ago. There, I think it was a Monday. Phasmophobia.
yes.
It really took off over the past year. And for those who don't know, it's basically a game where you go to a building that's haunted, and you use ghost hunting equipment like UV torches, motion sensors, dots projectors. There's all sorts of equipment, and you use them to basically find out which type of ghost you're dealing with. Is it a demon, phantom? What else is there? Valkyrie, that's one.
Yeah, there's all sorts like there's Demon, Yuri. They've added new ones in, like the twins from The Shining. I think are making a wee appearance in the new update.
Yeah, which I'm looking forward to see. But yeah, they had a huge Halloween update a day or two ago, I haven't got a chance to play it yet, but they added a couple more ghosts. They added a new map. They added a weather mechanic. So depending on the weather, it may affect different things. So I think I saw something like if it was raining or if it was like thunderstorms, it might stop like your walkie-talkies from working properly or something like that. So that might be a bit interesting. And then there was another thing where they added if you use your walkie-talkies a lot, it actually attracts the ghost to you a lot more. But yeah, Phasmo is an amazing game if you're wanting to play in a group. If you've got a group of friends, play Phasmo. It'll be great for Halloween. Probably, well, it's definitely from this list. It's probably my favorite multiplayer game that we've got. I don't know about you so far.
Well, I think one thing that makes Phasmophobia so good is like the proximity voice chat.
Yeah,
and I think maybe you'd agree, Connor, in the fact that like it makes it seem a lot more realistic whenever you're talking to people you can only hear them if they're close to you.
Yeah.
But also you have to be quiet so that the ghost doesn't hear you in certain parts. Like I think games where like that make it feel a lot more real. That's why I think Phasmophobia can be a bit more scary, especially when you start playing it. I feel like I was personally like terrified when I first started playing. I think the more yeah, I think once you have a large amount of hours in the game, though, you don't get as scared of it because it becomes the same kind of thing. But other than that, I'd say it's definitely a good one to check out. Like,
anytime if you would hear like the ghost breathing in your ear or your heart beating faster, if you're being hunted, if the ghost's near you, and at that point I'll have thrown my headphones on the ground, I'll have closed my eyes. And I usually have my webcam on while I'm playing, so like, everybody else in the calls just pissing themselves laughing just seeing me freak out because a ghost after me.
Yeah. No, definitely want to check out, especially with the new update. I'd say because they just released it. Was it like a few days ago?
Yeah, it was Monday at 4:00. I think it said.
Oh, fair enough. But I think we've talked about quite a lot of like multiplayer ones. I think is there any single player ones you guys we could bring up? Maybe Until Dawn.
Until Dawn, yeah, that's a great one.
I could maybe talk a wee bit about it unless you have played it, Connor, yourself or seen it. No, you could.
I've seen a little bit. I've seen a little bit of it, just not.
Yeah, like the gameplay.
A lot of it.
Yeah, I feel like that's quite common now. I mean, it took a lot of watching games for me to actually play them. But I think Until Dawn's a good one to go with for single player. I'd say it's. I mean, I might have some disagreement here, but it's probably the best single player horror game I've played. So basically, it's to do with you and a bunch of your friends. Well, I say you and a bunch of your friends. I mean, like a bunch of friends that you just play as, or go to this one of the friends' cabin in like the mountains, I think it is, or in the woods, something like that. And basically everything just starts going wrong. I'm not gonna get too into it, but like a year beforehand, they'd went out to this mountain, and one of their friends had disappeared, and so there's a whole mystery around that. And basically, story takes you through all of the different characters' evenings. You get to make your own decisions. It's like one of those butterfly effect games, if you know what I mean. So like your actions have consequences. So you gotta make sure you don't screw up and get someone killed because you made a bad decision. Because like by the end of it, you can either get out with everyone alive or get out with no one alive. And unfortunately, on my first playthrough, I ended up killing about half the people at the end of it when I was playing with my brother, and he was absolutely raging at me. So don't do what I did. But have you played it at all, Alex?
I never played it. Well, I would agree. It is probably the best, in my opinion as well, probably the best single player horror game. That's how good the story is. Like, I haven't even played it, but I still love it. And the main thing I recommend is give the Let's Plays a watch on YouTube. Most big YouTubers like Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, and PewDiePie. They all did Let's Plays of it, I'm pretty sure. There was a certain period where pretty much every big YouTuber was playing it. I would highly recommend giving one of them a watch during Halloween. Or try it yourself and play it, but it's PS4 exclusive.
Yeah.
So definitely watch somebody's playthrough of it, because it is a very good story for Halloween.
Oh, definitely. So, unless there's any other games you guys have in mind, I think we've basically covered like the majority, like the bigger popular ones. So there's other games like Amnesia, Resident Evil. I mean, I don't really have many gaming experiences with those. Like, they're pretty popular ones. Slenderman back in the day. I'm sure everyone's seen or played Slenderman in some shape or form. Like, that was absolutely terrifying when I was about 10 years old. But
I never played it.
No, I played it like once or twice with my brother when I was about 10. He was on the mouse and I was on the keyboard. But no, that's a good one. There's just so many. You could really just like search up and just go through endless amounts of them. Like, but I'd say this is no better time during the year to play them than now. I'd say while everyone's in the spirit of Halloween.
Yeah. I'd probably make one last game suggestion. And it's for anybody who enjoys the card games, like Hearthstone, for example. There's a horror-themed card game called Inscription on Steam, and as I said with Darkwood, it looks to have gone under the radar a bit. It's positively reviewed on Steam, so I would give that a try. It's not just a card game, by the looks of it. So it has a bunch of different game mechanics in it, but they were all triggered from a card game. So I would definitely give it a try. If you're looking to try something new for Halloween.
Yeah, one more game just sprung to my mind. It'll be a quick one, but it's called In Silence. I've played it with Boehner before. Some of the others. Basically, it is first person, isn't it? I'm pretty sure. The first person 1v5 is it, or 1v4? I think it's 1v4.
1v4.
Kind of works in the same way as like Phasmophobia with the proximity voice chat, but also so you can play the private custom matches where one of your friends is a killer and 4 people are survivors. The aim of the game is to try and repair a car to get out or open a weapons bunker, I think, to kill the monster. And I'd say, whilst personally I thought it was it's a good idea and it's quite fun to play, I think, one game of every now and again. But if you're the monster, like, it's so hard to see that they've made it so that the monster can barely see. It has like supersonic hearing, but like really bad vision. And like I think I was killer for 45 minutes in one of the games we played, and I thought I needed like some eye surgery after my eyes were absolutely killing me. But so maybe don't play for prolonged periods of time. But definitely
there are certain like win conditions you need to look up to put, because I think the win conditions we put were, that would just take too long to do.
Yeah, so I was dying in silence by myself.
I think you need to know the settings for it before you play, or else you'll be playing forever.
Yeah, we went completely blind into it, and people suffered. People being me.
Yeah. All right. So we talked a bit about games, and we briefly touched on movies. So why don't we just suggest a couple of movies y'all can watch? So, like, do you have any favorite Halloween horror movies?
I'll take this then, because mine will be short and sweet. I don't do a lot of proper horror. I do comedy horrors. So you have the likes of Scary Movie or Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, movies like that. That are they're just more funny rather than horror. I don't know if any of you have watched any of these.
No.
I haven't actually seen the scary movies before. I think, sure, Boehner, you mentioned earlier you saw the first one there for the first time, but might be one for me to even revisit. But I think another good recommendation would be Quiet Place. Obviously, I was big in the cinemas a while back. I don't know. So have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Nope.
Well, I won't spoil it for Boehner, but whole premise of that is it's about a family living in this like apocalyptic world where it's full of creatures who like the game in silence we were talking about. They have the supersonic hearing, but the really bad vision. So it's basically everyone's living in total silence. I don't know why that also just reminds me of Bird Box. That just came back in my mind, but maybe I'll say that for another day. But no, I haven't actually seen the second Quiet Place now. Have you seen it, Connor? If you've seen
Yeah.
the first one, well, you won't spoil that one for me. But
No,
I'm assuming
it's just the same sort of premise, you
Just-
know. But it's a little bit more. How would you say it? Like action packed compared to
oh,
the first one.
yeah, first
More
one.
action than the first one.
Yeah, I think the first one was a bit slower paced, and that led up to a lot of action at the end. But no, I mean, I thought it was really good. It was a really weird experience in the cinema as well because everyone was being really quiet. Couldn't even hear anyone eating their bloody popcorn because no one wanted to make any noise. But no, those are definitely good ones. What about you, Benny? Is there any recommendations you can make?
Loads.
Where do we begin? Is the question.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Conjuring universe is my favorite. You've got the 3 Conjuring movies, the 3 Annabelle movies. You got the Nun. It's just an amazing set of films.
Mm.
But you've also got the classics like The Shining and It. If you're watching It, watch the older one. The new one is good, but the older ones, it's a lot better.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And then if you're looking for TV show recommendations, I mean I watched I usually watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If you've seen it, they do a Halloween episode every year. Or you can't go wrong with Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, but just please don't go past season 12 to 15. Like that will truly make your Halloween just scary or bad. Don't do it.
Ruin it.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, I think you can't really go wrong with like the older ones, like The Shining.
The Shining parody is probably the best one.
Yeah, with the Jack Nicholas, isn't
Nicholson.
it? Jack Nicholson. Sorry, yeah, my bad. I actually didn't watch it until about 5 years ago, but no, it's a classic. I definitely recommend watching it if you haven't before. It's considered like one of the best horror movies of all time, I'd say. But no, definitely give it a watch. Like if you're into the older ones,
Yeah.
I would steer clear of like the Friday the 13th movies because I think they get a bit repetitive. I haven't watched all of them for that reason. I think it's just the same thing. Like Jason kills everyone, comes back a year later and kills everyone again. And then I'm glad they actually finished that off though and didn't continue it on with Halloween like they've been doing for like 30, 40 years now. But no, in terms of recommendations, I think those are some solid ones. Like,
Yeah, another franchise of movies that I watch for Halloween is the Saw franchise.
oh my,
Yeah. I know there's something seriously wrong with me if I if I love to watch Saw, but I mean, it has a great story behind it with loads of twists. It's just depends if you can, stomach some of the things that happens in it. But it does have a great story. But I'll not say I recommend it. Just suggesting if you do like it, watch it again because it's pretty good.
But unless you guys have anything else, I think that pretty much covers everything. Like,
Yeah, I'm happy with everything.
Thanks, guys, for watching our Halloween special. I'd like to say thanks to Corey and Boehner for joining me for this special episode. Come back next week. Is it next week or 2 weeks? Next 2 weeks?
yeah, in the next 2 weeks, yeah, it'll be up probably in a couple weeks time.
I'll see you in 2 more weeks' time. Thanks,
All right.
guys.